Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're diving into one of my favorite distilleries and a new high-aged release shelf bottle from them. Knob Creek 10-Year Rye. Ho, ho, ho! Cannot be more excited. Big shout out to Dave Vogelsang, the patron saint of Whiskey Tube, for grabbing this for me. It's not available in PA yet, but it has trickled into New Jersey. Should be available everywhere, so if you don't see it yet, you soon will. If you see the other Knob Creeks anyway, that is. Knob Creek 10-Year Rye coming in at 100 proof. Compute 50% alcohol by volume. So let that sink in. Knob Creek is putting out an available shelf 10-year-old rye. If we can't just say 2024 is the year of rye, that's where it is, folks. 2024 is the year of the rye. There's a resurgence, and high-aged rye is available. So you might say, Bourbon Bill, what's the price on this shelf available bottle? $69.99 or $70 hairs is the MSRP for this 10-year 100 proof rye from Knob Creek. Although I've seen some stores selling it as low as $66 hairs. So I'm going to say $64 to $72 hairs, in that range somewhere you're likely to see it. Couldn't be more excited. Now, you might say, Bourbon Bill, that looks a little familiar. You'd be right, because they also released Knob Creek 7-Year Rye this year. Or it might have been the tail end of last year, but I did a review on this one. Go check it out. About $35 hairs a bottle for this bad boy. So you are paying double for 3 more years. Also 100 proof, I might add. Also this year, Knob Creek's also released a Yr Rye. I'll throw an image up. I have not got my hands on that, but when I do, you'll be sure to see a review about it. So don't you worry about that. But tonight, again, thank you, Dave Vogelsang, for all your help. Knob Creek 10-Year Rye. There it is, baby. Let's give it a nosing. Oh, man, does that smell good. It's a very oaky rye. I mean, it's all brown sugars, caramels, oak, and rye spice, baby. There's old ryes, and we've reviewed some of them, but they generally don't, like, just dank oak ain't a predominant note on a lot of them, but it is here. So, man, I mean, there's a little bit of that nuttiness, but it's like a candied nut, you know, from the fair. One of those delicious smelling ones that just smells across the fairgrounds. It's a definite Jim Beam profile of oaky rye goodness. We are just digging the nose. Let's give it a sip. Oh, that's delicious. Wow. Okay, so first hit is just a well-seasoned, well-aged oak. Much like Knob Creek 12 hits you with a nice, well-seasoned, well-aged oak, this hits you with a well-seasoned, well-aged oak. Brown sugars, caramels. And then what's different, though, is a big dollop of rye spice on the end. Boy, that's a good rye. Oh, man, that's so pleasant. Oh, man. Definitely a bourbon drinker's rye, okay? If you're, you know, like a 95.5 kind of rye guy, or like you're all about the rye spice. There's rye spice here, but this is predominantly leads with bourbon flavors. Again, it's all caramel, brown sugar, toffee, you know, if you will, a little bit of nuttiness, and very well seasoned oak heavy, and then the rye spice comes in. Quite an enjoyable pour. Very good. Bourbon Bill's rating A+ on Bourbon Bill. Absolute buy. As a shelf bottle, can't go wrong having this around. And when this one goes, I think this is going to become a staple. Honestly, just like Knob Creek 12, I'm probably always going to keep one of these around. You just don't It's hard to find good aged rye all the time, right? Now I know you want to know Bourbon Bill, but is it worth double? Knob Creek 7. It's only 3 more years. Let's find out. We'll put it here in the mini. Special shout out to my brother-in-law for supplying me his Knob Creek 7. Alright, color-wise, man, the 10's darker. It really is. It's got more color to it in the glass. Alright, on the nose, the 7. And I really did enjoy the 7. Go watch my review of it. I'll link it above. Oh, it's so amazing. The 7 leans more floral rye. Interesting. It's like the oak is absent. Okay, there's a lot of caramel, a lot of toffee, almost like a floral note coming off here. Brown sugar's there, but everything just feels way lighter on the nose. Let's take a sip. Yeah. Yeah, I remember really digging the 7 year. It's got, again, just a lot of caramel, a lot of brown sugar notes. Very similar to the 10 year. The rye spice comes in at the end. There's a hint of oak here, but the 10 year brings a lot more flavor punch to the table, even being the same proof. Back to the 10 year. Oh yeah, the 10 year is just deeper, darker, and richer, right on the nose. Oh! Yeah, she worked double. I mean, the oak integration on the 10 year is phenomenal. It's a step ahead of the 7 year. Now, and there's no floral notes on the 10, right? I mean, the increased oak kind of gets rid of those kind of floral peanutty notes the 7 has. I dig the 7 for $35. I really do. Am I going to keep this around? No. No longer. I'll give that back to my brother-in-law. This will be the one that I hold on to. A Knob Creek store pick of the rye at 115 proof. If you compute 57.5% alcohol by volume. This one's like 5.8 years old. It's not even 6, okay? Now, I'm going to smell this. I'm not going to drink it because I got a lot of other good comparisons I think are more valuable. Some of these are creeping up into the 8 year range, okay? Those would be interesting. This at 5.5, 5.8 years. It's not. This is not as good as the 7. Spoiler alert, if you go watch my video on the 7. It's got like the caramels and the toffees, but no oak. It just adds extra burn and like a corn note. Not enough age on this, okay? Go figure. Fine wine and good spirits couldn't pull it together, you know? Just like everything else. But never fear. Maybe you have a better store pick and you're like, Bourbon Bill, I really want to know how it compares. Well, I got something better for you. Also, courtesy of my brother-in-law, it's Knob Creek Cask Strength Rye from 2018, limited release. One of the very, very few cask strength offerings from Knob Creek. Barreled in 09, sold to you in 2018. So it's a 9 year cask strength rye. There was a 2008 variety and then a 2009. Well, that's when they were barreled. It was a 2017 and 2018 version release. 2018 is generally seen as the better release, but I haven't had the other one to really, for sure, tell you that. This one's 119.6 proof. Compute 59.8% alcohol by volume. Now, this bottle, I believe my brother, again, thanks to my brother-in-law for this one. I believe he paid like $70 for it, like a couple years ago. Okay, he got this in like 2021. Put it here in the mini. At the time, $70 was a lot more. They haven't released this since, again, 2018. So it's 6 years ago. You know, go figure. All right, color. Surprisingly, this cask strength is no darker than the 10. And again, the 10 is only 1 year more. So that's interesting to me that it's 19.6 proof higher, but not darker in color. You know, that's crazy. All right, here's the cask strength. Knob Creek. Wow, very caramel brown sugar forward, even more so, I think, than the 10 year. You know what I'm not getting on this, though? Oak. It's like, there's like this magic year between 9 and 10 for some reason. There's a floral note here as well, more reminiscent of the 7, even though this is a 9. Down the hatch of the 9 cask. Oh, I forgot how good. I forgot how good that is. There's citrus there, there's floral. The nuttiness is there, the brown sugar is there. There is oak that comes in on the back end and integrates very nicely. But is it better than the 10? Here's the 10 on the nose. Gotta say, I'm an oak hound. I dig the oak on this 10. I really do. Nose-wise, I like the 10 better, to be honest with you. I really do. Down the hatch on the 10 again. Ho! Ho, ho, ho. I honestly think this 10 is better. Honestly. 19 proof points difference. This is limited, but this 10 is just better. Man. But you gotta like more oak. If you don't like more oak, you're not gonna think that this 10 is better. So, that's interesting to me. Alright, now, I just wouldn't leave you there. Bourbon Bill, what other rye should I compare it to? Let's stick with the Jim Beam family. How about a gosh dang old Overholt 10-year cask strength from last year? This one was 121 proof. Compute 60.5% alcohol by volume. So it's Jim Beam. It's also 10 years old. But 121 versus 100. Uh-oh. We do know, I don't know if it's the same mash bill, okay? I don't know that. This was aged in their elevator warehouse, so the barrels were rotated of different heights in the warehouse over time for this one. It was $100 hairs or $99.99. MSRP last year in 23. They are doing an 11-year this year for 24. So again, it's the rear of the rye, okay? We'll put this in the gold. Made my top 10 ryes of last year in 2023 and placed quite high. Go watch that video if you haven't. Every like, comment, and subscribe and watch helps out the channel. Alright, here's the old Overholt 10-year cask strength on the nose. Oh my God, it's just so much brown sugar and caramel is through the roof. Oh, there's just such a the caramel is amazing on this. It is a brown sugar caramel. It's very bourbon forward. If you didn't know this was a rye, you wouldn't necessarily call this as a rye. On the hatch on the old Overholt 10. Oh, it's so good. Good Lord. Yeah, old Overholt 10 on the palate is phenomenal. I mean, there's the oak. The oak, then, there's the oak. You know, it was missing on the nose, but it comes through on the palate. It's very caramel heavy and oak heavy. There's like some toffees in here. Nuttiness is dialed back on the old Overholt 10, but the mouth feels dialed up with the proof. It's very good. And the integration is wonderful. Of all the flavors, very well done. Now, I don't think, on the palate anyway, the Knob Creek 10 is going to beat that. Back to the Knob Creek 10. I'm going to give the win to the old Overholt 10, but the Knob Creek 10 is very close. It just doesn't quite bring, you know, the good mouthfeel and the perfect integration that the old Overholt 10 brings, but $30 hairs for that experience difference is a bit. All right, now, let's go to a rye never before featured on this channel. It's Heaven Hill Decade Series 10-year-old rye version 2, whatever you want to call it. There you go. Have not reviewed this on this channel before, so this is kind of a first review of this, if you will. MSRP on this bad boy is $100 hairs. Okay, but I got this one for $60 hairs, so actually technically I got it for less than the Knob Creek 10, if you will. But this is a straight rye whiskey aged in, oh, what's that? Indiana. This is a 10-year-old MGP at 100 proof. Compute 50% alcohol by volume. So, in theory, MSRP is a lot higher than Knob Creek. Whew, good cork pop. Put that in the mini here. So we got the same proof, same age as the Knob Creek 10. Heaven's Door Decade Series. The second release. The first release was a bourbon. This one's a rye. So there you go. I believe it's a 95.5 MGP rye. On the nose. Oh yeah, it smells like a 95.5 MGP rye. You know, it's just got that like rye spice, the sweetness, if you will. Got some fruit notes on it. Very good. Very good. Much more of a rye drinker's rye, if you will, on the nose than the Knob Creek 10. Alright, down the hatch with the Heaven's Door Decade Series. Oh, that's quite good. Oh man, that's just your quintessential 10-year-old MGP rye. You know, it's got the fruits. It's got the MGP version of oak when your mash bill is 95% rye. It's a fruitier, livelier oak, if you will. That's very good. $100 here is steep. I don't know that it's worth its MSRP. I think $60 though, great buy on that. Alright, Knob Creek 10. Oh man. Oh, it just keeps surprising me. I mean, I'm drinking it, but I'm going to give the win to the Knob Creek 10. You know why? Just the well-seasoned oak is just different than the MGP oak. It really is. It's killer. It's killer. Man. Man, just fighting today. Fighting this Knob Creek 10 is really good. I'm going to give that the win over the Heaven's Door, which means should you buy Heaven's Door for MSRP? No. If you see one for $60, sure, and you like ryes, MSRP on this bad boy I wouldn't buy. $100 is too much. Up next, I think going to be a real battle coming up next. Dun dun dun. It's the Bulleit 12-Year Rye 2024 release. Go watch my video linked above if you haven't. You know my love for this beautiful SOB. $55 versus an MSRP of $70. Is this still the best value in rye in 2024? It might be. Now, here's a few problems with this. One's the proof. It's 92 proof. Compute, 46% alcohol by volume. So she's lighter in proof by 8 proof points. She's better in price. She's older, 12 years old. But limited bottling means it's not going to be available on every shelf everywhere and not forever. Sad, I know. MGP, Indiana Distillates. This is 12-year-old MGP rye at 92 proof. We'll put it here in green for rye. Good cork pop on that one. Like I said, if you haven't watched my full review of this, go ahead and watch it. I think this is a killer bottle. One of the best values in ryes, period, today. Now this will be quite interesting to which one I prefer. Oh my God, that 12-year age is magnificent on this. There's a lot of citrus, leather, and oak on here with the rye spice. So it's kind of all just mixed together, right? Knob Creek 10. Oh, this is going to be very dependent on what you prefer in your ryes. Do you want a rye's rye or a bourbon drinker's rye? I'm kind of digging the Bulleit nose a little more, personally myself, but in terms of quality, they're about equal. All right, down the hatch from the Bulleit 12. Man, that's a good rye. Oh! Again, it's just so much well-aged oak on the Bulleit 12 too. The citrus, the caramels, the rye spice. A little bit of citrus on there is very good. Alright, back to the Knob Creek 10. Oh man. That's real tough. The Knob Creek 10 is thicker on the mouthfeel. You know what I mean? Thicker on the palate. Just like denser flavors with the proof. Oh, which one would I pick? It's almost a draw. Now I will say the Bulleit 12, probably the better value at $55 hairs, I will say. So again, this is limited. I'd 100% pick one of these up while you can. But then, you know, the Knob Creek 10's more available, or going to be, you know, for in perpetuity, if you will. So I don't know. I mean, I think the value's better on this because they were so close to me. I'm really torn on them. I don't know if I could crown a winner right now. Now, one final comparison. I know this is going long, but I had a lot of comparisons to do for rye because we got a lot of good ryes going on these days. Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. Oh, This happens to be a store pick from Bourbon Street Wine and Spirits in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Coming in at 133.2 proof. Compute 66.6% alcohol by volume. You say, Bourbon Bill, why is this included? Mainly because the price on these bad boys is about $68 hairs, just, $75 hairs maybe for a pick. Okay, so price, pretty close to the Knob Creek 10. Age on the store picks here is about 7 years. So it's 3 years younger. It's Brown-Forman, Jack Daniels, if you will. A lot higher proof. Okay, so this is considered one of the better values in ryes because it's just a damn good drinking experience. Brings a lot of proof. Look how dark it is. So this one again, about 7 years, about 3 years younger, but about 33.2 proof points higher. Oh, she's so dark in the glass. Let's give it a nosing. Sweet bananas, caramel, barrel char. Oh man, just that traditional Jack Daniels scent with a little bit of rice spice sprinkled in at the end. Gosh, I do love Jack Daniels. But the Knob Creek 10 is not a step down in the nose, considering the proof difference, okay? Gotta say that. Oh, good Lord. Oh, so good. It's such barrel char. Just essence of barrel rye candy. Bananas. A little bit of oak in there. Man, that Jack Daniels is so good. I'm going to probably give the nod to this store pick JD barrel proof rye. But again, the oak though is so great on this Knob Creek 10 rye. It really is. And that's something that's missing from the Jack Daniels. This is really a lot closer than I expected. I'm going to be honest, okay? I still think this is one of the better values in ryes, period. Especially barrel proof ryes. No contest. Best thing out there. If you want lower proof ryes, I think the Bullet 12 is a great contender for value this year in 2024. But again, limited, not always available. If you want to talk about available shelf ryes and extreme values, your answer is the Knob Creek 10 and the Jack Daniels barrel proof rye. Okay, yes, this isn't barrel proof, but it does have an older, oakier profile. And if that's what you want, here's your answer. Okay, so this is an A++ rating from Bourbon Bill. It's been upgraded because of how well it did tonight. It's a killer bottle. I definitely would pick one up if you can find one. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we have Patreon if you feel like joining and supporting the channel in that way. Please do so. Thanks. Have a great evening, everybody.